The Sports Scouting Report with Lieber King, brought to you by Harvey Autos in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you've trusted for years. Geico, the insurance savings you expect. Supreme Chevrolet, expect more from Supreme Automotive Group in Gonzales.
Creed and Creed Law Firm, serious attorneys for serious injuries.
Bollinger Shipyards, 75 years of delivering high-quality vessels. Here's your host, Lieber King.
Jim Hightower, head football coach, St. Thomas More High School.
Coach, you're the legend here, man. I appreciate you taking the time to do this little interview with me. And you've always been very kind and you've always gotten back with me to help with the football magazine every year.
Well, I appreciate what you do for the sport of football in the state of Louisiana. You know, it's a great sport, and we've got a great state that promotes football very well.
I look at my 28 years, and then tell everybody how many years you've been at STM now. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah, 39 years. I started in 1986.
Coach, incredible. You look at the all-time wins in the country, you're in the top 6 in the nation. Top 2 permanently in Louisiana, are you and JT Curtis? You ever think of that? And I know you're a very modest person, you're a very good guy, but do you ever take a moment and say, I can't believe I've been around this long and won that many games with all the people involved with you?
I've been blessed. I've had some great kids to work with and tremendous coaches that have made my staff said for almost the whole time that I've been doing this, I've been surrounded by awfully good people that know the game, love the kids, and are doing it for the right reasons. So all of that makes the time fly by. You know, I've done it 1 year at a time for a lot of years, and when you sit back and think about it, yeah, it's a lot of games, but I don't sit back and think about it too much.
Coach, tell everybody the total. Do you know the total now on the wins overall?
I think it's 480, but
it's amazing. And
yeah.
you told me way back that you came to Louisiana from California.
Right.
And you made your first stop in New Roads.
Yeah, well, I stopped at LSU.
Right.
I was a GA at LSU baseball program and got my master's degree and pursued hours after the master's. So I was at LSU as a GA for 3 years. And then I was getting ready to go finish my PhD at Penn State, and I got sidetracked with a job offer at Catholic Point Competing, and it sounded interesting. And once I started, I never looked back because I knew I'd found what I was supposed to be doing. So. And
y'all won a state championship there. You and Dale Weiner. Dale Weiner was on your staff.
Yeah, Dale, Gary Atkins. I was blessed with good people right from the start. Mike Boyer was on my staff. We spent a lot of years together. So yeah.
Congratulations on all the state titles, Coach, because I know you were a part of many years here where you didn't win a state title.
No, it took us a long time to get the first one, and we just kept building a little bit at a time and taking progress as we could get it. And, we've been blessed the last several years with some awfully good players. But, again, it goes back to the coaches that I've got around me.
Jim, spring is obviously when the colleges come in and talk and pull, grades, and they come visit. And sometimes they call and let you know they're coming, and sometimes they don't. But is there a couple of coaches that you're your favorite guys that over the years, and they might even be retired now, but anybody that come to mind that when they would come to STM and see you, you really enjoyed talking to them?
I enjoyed talking with all of the coaches that come through, so it'd be hard for me to just name one or two. Of course, our local university comes pretty frequently, and again, that's a different part of the job, but it's always good to be able to sit down and talk with them.
Speaking of, I want to throw this at you because people I don't think probably have ever asked you this. I'm from Baton Rouge, and I think we have pretty good food. Mm-hmm. But when I come to Lafayette, I fall in love.
Yeah, Lafayette is a special place. It is a special place. The food, and not just the food at the restaurants. The food that comes out of these homes here. We've got some amazing cooks.
It's different, huh, Coach? Like
yes,
it's not like this anywhere
absolutely.
in the world.
No, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I don't think so.
And you're still enjoying it.
I love it. Love it.
How old were you when you first became a high school coach? How old were you, Coach?
Let's see, 23, I guess.
23.
22, 23,
And
yeah.
who was the LSU baseball coach when you were there?
Jim Smith. Yeah.
Somebody told me back in the day, one of the coaches before Skip, I don't know if it was Jim or the one before Jim, but he was also a manager for the
That was
football
Jim
team.
Smith. Jim Smith was the
Isn't
equipment
that crazy?
manager. Yeah.
And he was only paid one salary?
Yeah, times have changed. And a lot of times they'd be in spring practice, and we'd be, in the middle of our schedule and stuff, and Jim would leave it with us, So
Double duty, and now they're
That's it.
making
yeah,
three figures to do even training right
yeah,
now. But
exactly.
Coach Hightower, thank you for taking the time to talk to me during football season, and good luck to you for the rest of this year.
Okay, again, appreciate you, Lee.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you.
All right, Lance Strother. I am the receiver coach at St. Thomas More, and been here since 2004.
In Lafayette, Louisiana.
That's it. That's it.
Coach, thanks for letting me sit down with you. And I want to show people the reason you're not standing. Tell everybody. I mean, a little ladder.
Don't chainsaw a tree from a ladder.
Right. I've been there. I've actually fell off and got lucky and not break something. But I wanted to come here from Baton Rouge. I told you the other day, and I've been with the rain. We're supposed to do it last week. You are I think you're one of the best receiver coaches in the state. If people look at the resume of the body of work, as they always say, the receivers that you have produced, I know St. Thomas More has produced, but you've coached a lot of receivers that have went on to college, and some that didn't that were phenomenal. And I mean, everybody knows all the quarterbacks, but today's about the receivers. And Tiger Besh, the ones that I want to mention, Jack Besh, Javon Walker, who you played with here,
Yep.
went on to the Packers and Raiders and Florida State. Bellamy, who played for you, McNeese, and some other guy. I mean, you got about 30, 40 guys.
Yeah.
You went here, you're an alumnus. And tell everybody about some of the guys that I've missed, but just the joy to be at your alma mater and go to coach some of these young guys.
Yeah, well, I had the great blessing of playing for Jim Hightower, and now have coached for Jim for the last 20 years. And I think one of the things that I don't know how many people understand it, but we're blessed at St. Thomas More to get a lot of great athletes. So we get to coach some really, really talented players. We have a lot of young men that decide to play football. So we've got a big football team. And I've had the great fortune and blessing of coaching some really, really good ones. You mentioned the Tiger and Jack Besh were excellent receivers. I was coached by what I think was one of the greatest high school coaches out there in Leland Pageant. And I give a lot of credit to Leland for laying the groundwork and really being my base and foundation of my knowledge and my passion. But yeah, we've had, we're blessed to we kind of always have receivers in college, and we've got some really good ones right now. In Christian McNeese, as you mentioned, Dalen Cambry's at UL, Landon Strother's at UL. We've got Jack Besh at TCU.
Who's tearing it up?
Yeah, Jack is on the Blitnikoff Award watch list, and certainly should be. We got Trevor Beggy, who played receiver over here, who's currently coaching receivers at UIW. So we got a great tradition and a very long list of great receivers.
And you had one that went to Tech and did pretty good at Louisiana Tech.
Griffin Hebert.
Big time. Yeah.
Griffin must be mentioned. Griffin is actually kind of bouncing around the NFL right now.
Yeah.
Griffin is an absolute beast. And hopefully we'll have a very long career in the NFL.
Talk about Besh, because I know he signed with LSU. Things happen for whatever reason. He goes to TCU. Last year, he didn't have. This year, he's leading the country in catches, or right up there at the top, and has a chance to be a 100-catch guy in college. And a lot of people didn't believe me. I was rah-rah outside of this school. I didn't go to St. Thomas More. I have no ties here.
Yep.
And I was the guy that just went off and just said, this guy is a freak, and he's going to catch 100 balls in college. Well, I know it didn't work out at LSU, but TCU, how proud are you of him to have a chance to catch 100 passes this year?
Oh, man, Jack is an absolutely special talent. We have really 3 receiver coaches at St. Thomas More right now. We've got Jacob Rodriguez is a phenomenal receiver coaches with me. Jacob got to coach Jack. He and I tag team. He's a great offensive mind. I give Jacob a lot of credit. And we've got a freshman receiver coach. So when you get to St. Thomas More, there's it's a great tradition. Jack is somebody we're all very proud of. Jack is a freak talent. He has put that on display for the country this year. He'll continue to be a freak talent. TCU's done a phenomenal job of using him, and there's a lot more to come from him the rest of his college career, which is just a little bit left.
Yeah.
But Jack will go on to play in the NFL, and he's going to be really fun to watch.
We'll look back and say there was Javon Walker and then Jack Best. You know, those two guys.
And Griffin Hebert. Keep
Griffin
your eye out for
Hebert,
Griffin
right.
Hebert with the Eagles, and are not sure where he's going to end up. But
All big guys, 6'2", 6'3", over 200-pound players. What's your secret in the sauce? You know, I mean, not everybody is known as a great craft guy at their position. Not everybody gets called one of the great. And I'm here today because I want to recognize your work. But, I mean, you've been doing this a long time. Tell me how many years as a coach at STM already.
I've been here since 2004
Right.
and started my career at Captain Shreve in 2001.
I forgot you were in Shreveport.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's hard to replace receivers every year or every 2 years. And there's no drop-off here.
No, we have, to put some things in perspective, we currently have 40 receivers on our and that's freshmen through seniors. But we got a lot of guys that want to play the position, a lot of talent that's competing.
Yeah.
So we have a great pool of competition. We understand the science of the position. We're constantly studying it. We try to be we try not to get stagnant in our understanding of the position. And I've been really, really blessed I had an older brother that played receiver, played at UL. So since I was little, I've been studying this position and this craft.
And when I ran into you, I don't know if it was at a National College Coaches Convention, but I would say it's been 15, 20 years. You had this system do you still use that receiver system? It was like a special thing you invented, or?
Yes, me and my partner Mark Weber invented the Great Catch, which is it's in the market.
Yeah.
You can buy it pretty much anywhere. But that was just earlier on, trying to come up with ways to create negative consequences for negative technique. Sometimes receivers will use poor technique and end up with the catch.
Yeah.
So when you're coaching them and they have a positive result with bad technique, sometimes it makes the coaching challenging. So the Great Catch was it was ESPN's next best training aid for 2 years in a row. And it's still it does the same. It's extremely productive and functional. It forces drops if you use bad technique.
Coach Lance, one thing I've noticed about the receivers here, and I've always took in a game every year, you don't see many drop passes from the receivers at the school, and you see great route running. You don't see that on high school Fridays, Thursday nights. You see kids that might run a route. Mm-hmm. They might catch 1 out of 3 balls, or they might, make a big play in the game, but it seems like no matter what you're on the depth chart at this school, you don't see drops very often, and you see really good route running.
Yeah, well, young people and people in general, when they understand why they're doing what you're asking them to do, they're going to do that with a lot more commitment. So at St. Thomas More, we are absolutely going to explain and take the time to explain why a certain technique is more functional, more efficient, more successful than how they might be doing it naturally. So our players buy in. They take a lot of pride in it. They take a lot of pride in the tradition of it, and they understand why they're doing what they're doing, and so that is why you see a consistency here.
Coach Lance, and this is not planned, and Jim won't know until we show the show, but give your thoughts about the great Jim Hightower, your head coach here at STM, the Hall of Famer, 5th or 6th nationally on all-time wins nationally, one of the top 2 nationally. I mean, statewide in Louisiana, him and JT own everything and wins from John Curtis. But talk about what your thoughts on Coach Hightower and what it's been like to be a part of his staff for a long time.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about Jim. Man, it's really hard to talk about Jim Hightower because he is such a special, highly successful, high character, high integrity coach. He has not had a losing season since he came to St. Thomas More in the mid '80s. He's consistent. He's a man of his word. He's an extremely hard worker. He's passionate. One of the things that I absolutely love about Jim is he is one of the most avid learners that I know. He's never not reading. He's constantly studying leadership. He's an empowerer. He hires great guys and great men that are experts at their craft, but that really care about the kids. And he's very special to work for. He's doesn't micromanage. He has a standard of excellence that's at the very, very top. And so as an assistant, he doesn't have to say much. You just know that you better put in the work, and you better know your craft, and you better do it at a highly, highly competitive rate, and you better really, really love the kids and do it for the right reasons. And that is the culture he's established, and it's a blessing to coach under him.
And he waited a long time to get those state championships here, and then they've come in many in the last few years.
He did.
What's the total now? I'm losing track.
Yeah, it's a good bit now.
But his first few years here, a long time.
Yeah, 2015 was the first time we finally broke through the semifinals and competed for the state championship. 2016 was the first time we won it, and we won a bunch since then.
More than my fingers and my hands can count. But very blessed, and I'm just glad I was able to come here today. And like I told you over the phone, I really mean this. You're one of the best at your craft as a wide receivers coach here at St. Thomas More, Coach Lance. And look, I got to do this because everybody loves their kids. You had a chance to coach your son,
Yes.
Landon, here,
Yeah.
who's playing college ball. Brag on him a little bit.
All right. Well, thanks. Every dad loves to do that.
Right.
Landon was a great player at St. Thomas More. Landon and his teammates only lost one game between their junior and senior year. Won 2 state championships. And Landon is at UL now, and I think making his mark and kind of letting people see a little bit more just how special he is. He absolutely loves the game. He's been around it since he was a baby. Loves the game and the position, loves to compete. But Landon's really talented. He plays long. He's faster than what people think, and he's an artist at it.
I remember when Brandon Stokely came out of Como, and people said he's too small, and he walked on basically for his dad, Nelson, and he became a freak at USL. And what, he played 15 years in the NFL at least?
Long NFL career.
And he reminds me, your son could be that next Brandon guy, there's always a chance now.
Landon doesn't have limitations to what he believes is possible. He has a work ethic that is a championship caliber work ethic. And if he stays patient and continues to grind, I can't imagine success not being the result, because we believe that firmly. If you put God's given talent together with a championship work ethic and a great attitude, great things happen.
And his dad is only 10 minutes or less to go see a game.
That is very, very special. Looking forward to this Saturday, actually.
You don't have to spend a lot of gas at all to do that.
No, we are diehard Raging Cajun fans, baby. Let's go Cajuns.
Speaking of that, before we go, what do you think of the job that the Sarmo's done at UL? taking over for the gentleman that went to the Florida Gators.
Yep. Yep.
But what do you think he's done? I mean, they're winning this year, having a good year.
They are really, really winning. 7-1. The Cajuns got it rolling. Coach DeSarmo and his staff are they're crushing it. And I absolutely love seeing that because anybody that knows Coach DeSarmo, if you've ever gotten to meet him personally, he's a high integrity guy. He's a competitor. He's a winner. If you got to see him play when he was playing for the Cajuns, the guy's a winner. So they've got the right guy in place over there, and to see a 7-1 record right now with a lot of momentum, Lafayette's fired up. They got a brand new stadium that's underway being built. There's a lot of positive things happening right here in Lafayette with the Raging Cajuns.
New Iberia native, and he did a great job. I liked that he was a high school coach.
Love that.
At Ascension Episcopal.
That's right.
And him and his brother. Now his brother's the head coach at Catholic in New Iberia.
Yep.
They both played at UL.
Yep.
One was a quarterback, and the brother was a fullback, I believe. Right?
I believe that's right. Yeah.
So, big time UL guys. Coach, thank you again for letting me do the interview today.
Thank you, Lee.
Thanks for watching the Sports Scouting Report with Lieber King.